House Kiss. Welcome to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. Our House Kiss of the day are Mike Lawrence and Elizabeth FP. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be House Kiss of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. All right, so when we left off yesterday, Beth is trying to figure out what the hell she's gonna do this week. It's getting messy. We saw yesterday she's planning to put Ro and Tara up on the block. That is not changing. Ro is her primary target, but then she's thinking, if Ro wins the power veto, what if I put up Victoria and send her out? That would be a huge move. And honestly, it would be great for Beth and really bad for Ty and Jed, because, okay, let's look at this real quick. So Ro is going after Ty and Jed, but he's cool with Beth because they've been playing up this whole thing like Beth needs Ro to take out the guys for her, and then you have Victoria, who is cool with the guys and can't stand Beth and wants Beth out. So if Victoria is the one to go, not only would the guys be losing someone who would not put them up on the block, but they'd also still have to deal with Ro, who wants to take them out. So it's crazy. And a lot of people were trying to get Victoria up on the block because even with all that stuff aside, she's a huge threat to win this whole entire thing. She's a really strong competitor. She's got a huge list of accomplishments already on her resume that she can tell everybody about if she makes it to the final two. So even Kiefer was trying to get Victoria backdoored, and they're supposed to have a final two deal. I think Kiefer was starting to feel threatened that Victoria would beat him in the end, so he's not cool with that. But on the flip side, if Tara wins the power veto, Beth is saying that Tina or Brayden would go up as replacement, and then Ro would still be the target. He would be the one to go. So no matter what happens, Beth is trying to make sure that the potential backdoor Victoria plan never gets back to Victoria, because she would be pissed if she finds out. She would be pissed. So in other news, Beth picked Ro for Wendy's because she wants to talk to him privately, and she wants to know, what can he do for her? What does he have to offer her game? Because she feels like Tara's not really doing anything for her game. But if Ro sticks around, he could really help her out by, taking out Ty or Jed down the line for her. Which is something that she's talked about privately with the camera. So she also told the cameras that she wants to go to the final three with Brayden and Tina. And that's going to be tough to do with Ty and Jed still around. So yeah, she's wondering if Ro's going to be able to help her with that. So Tara had a one-on-one chat with Beth in the HOH room, and Beth let her know, you're probably going up on the block. But Beth is pushing that Tara is not the target this week. She said it so many times. She's like, no offense, but you're not really a threat to me in this game. Why would I want to take you out? It wouldn't make sense. It would kind of be a waste of an HOH. So, oof. Tara's like, all right, well, I have a question for you. If that is the case, if Ro is your target this week, then why did you bring him to Wendy's and not me? Oh my god. Are you serious? Are you seriously asking about Wendy's right now? She kept bringing this up over and over again yesterday, to all different people. She could not let this go. She could not let this Wendy's thing go. And Beth was like, oh, well, I already have good open conversations with you, but it's tough for me to get info out of Ro, so I had to bribe him with Wendy's. Tara's not happy with that answer, which is why, again, she was complaining about it, all day. So Tara's like, okay, well, who goes up next to me if Ro wins the power veto? And Beth is promising, she doesn't give a name, but she promises it's not going to be Tina, which she is telling the truth about. Beth does not want to put Tina up on the block this week. Beth wants to go to the final three with Tina. She's not going to put her in danger this week or, risk ruining their relationship. She's not going to do it. But Tara is pushing to try and get Victoria up on the block. And Tara also tries to make a deal with Beth. She says, if you don't put me up this week, I will not nominate you, Jed, or Ty if I win HOH next week. So she was also implying at the same time she will take out the guys for Beth later in the game. Like when Beth is ready, when the time comes, she can be the one to do that for her. So yeah, I mean, I think Beth figures she has a better chance of actually getting that done with Ro than she does with Tara. So Tara brings up an interesting point here. She's really nervous that if she does go up on the block with Ro and say Victoria wins the POV, what if Victoria takes down Ro? Honestly, as a viewer, that would be amazing because that would be maximum drama. Because you know it's going to come out at some point that there was this potential backdoor plan to get Victoria up on the block. So, oof, when she finds out about it, it's going to be crazy. So, can you imagine, though, if Ro and Victoria were both safe this week after all this? Wild. So, Beth keeps telling Tara, just stay calm. You're not my target this week. I just need you to stay calm. Do you guys think that Tara's going to end up, like, nervousing herself into the new target by the end of the week? Because it's definitely a possibility. But then Beth talks to Jed in the HOH room, and I gotta say, it's becoming really clear this week that Beth is way closer to Jed than she is to Ty. I have seen them have way more strategy talk so far, and I feel like whenever Beth gets new information, she always talks to Jed about it first. And I think part of that is also Ty has been busy trying to pull in Brayden, and he's been working on him a lot. But also, I think that Beth prioritizes Jed over Ty. I mean, we heard her in her camera talk saying that she wants Rohan to take out Ty. She didn't mention Jed, but she did say Ty. So, yeah. Anyway, she tells Jed about her Wendy's conversation with Ro. I'm curious how much she left out in her retell, because I'm sure there were things that she discussed with Ro that she did not want Jed or Ty to know. I guess we'll see on the show. But she says, oh, Ro guessed that I'm thinking about backdooring Victoria. And she was like, you need to keep your mouth shut about this, because if it gets back to Victoria, I'm going to know that you're the one who told her. Which she says to everybody. But yeah, like, so many people know about it now that it would be really difficult for her to figure out who actually told Victoria. But Rose said during their Wendy's chat that if one of the guys uses the POV on him, they would be safe with him for, like, the next 2 weeks or so, you know, depending on where the double eviction is going to fall, which we know it's this week, but they don't know that yet. So Jed is like, oh, really? Well, if Ro is on board and promising safety, then yeah, I'd take him off the block if I win the power veto. So it seems like Jed is thinking, yeah, let's do this backdoor Victoria plan then. I'll make a deal with Ro. So Beth is saying, I'm hearing now from Ro, Tina, and Tara, all of them, that Victoria has been saying my name as a target moving forward. And she's not sure if these three are all working together and, like, made that up, or if it's for real and Victoria has actually been saying that. It's for real. I mean, who knows what Victoria would actually do if she won HOH, because she tells different groups different things. But we know for sure that Victoria is not a fan of Beth. I don't know if she would put her personal dislike of her aside, or what. But yeah, she has been telling people that she would put Beth up on the block. So then Beth was talking about how they really need to make sure that Victoria feels safe this week so that she won't go hard for that POV, because it is really a worst case scenario for Beth that Victoria would win HOH, or not HOH, POV, and use it to save Ro. I mean, if that did happen and she did win if she won POV, I feel like Ro could just go to her and say, hey, they were all trying to get you up on the block, so, like, save me and we'll all go after them. I feel like that could work, but you never know. So Beth is saying if Victoria does end up getting picked to play, we could, like, ask her to throw it, tell her, you don't need to win this, you're so safe, and if you do win, people are just going to keep talking about you being a comp beast, so maybe it's best to just, like, take a step back on this one. That would be so freaking sus to me. I mean, I think that would definitely be a red flag to Victoria, but we'll see what happens. So then they were discussing, just, like, in general, what a huge move it would be for Beth to take out Victoria this week, and Beth is nervous AF about it. So Jed was also like, ooh, this is a move that would make you beat me in the end. I wonder if that's gonna influence his decision this week at all and, like, what should happen now that he's thinking about that. But at this point, he's on board for the move. He's on board for Victoria to go this week. All right, meanwhile, Tara is unraveling in the Destiny bedroom. She's so paranoid that she's the real target this week. She's so paranoid that Victoria will win the power veto and save Ro, and then Tara's gonna go. And she's also like, why did Beth take Ro to Wendy's? Oh my god. Give it a rest. Alright, so then we've got Victoria in the HOH room with Beth and Jed, aka Bed. And Beth is playing up here that Rohan is her target this week. And Victoria's like, yeah, he's got to go for sure. Victoria, again, is pledging her loyalty to the throuple. And Victoria says if she wins HOH next week, she would put up Tina and Tara. Because she says she's tired of them just floating through the game and not really, like, doing anything. Do you think this is for real? Do you think that Victoria would actually put Tina and Tara up on the block? I have my doubts. I mean, it does seem like she wants to keep being loyal to the throuple, but that also just seems like such a weak move. I don't know. I don't know that she would do something like that. I don't know. So, anyway, later, Beth and Jed finally fill Ty in on the new, like, backdoor Victoria plan, and they're telling him about the Wendy's chat with Ro and how Ro is promising them safety if one of them uses the POV on him. And at first, Ty says, yeah, I'm on board for this plan. Like, let's get Victoria out. She's a huge threat. And he says Victoria wants Beth out so that she can be closer to me and Jed. It's just like when Victoria got rid of LaToya, right? She wanted to clear the way for herself. So then, as Beth is, like, recapping all of her conversations that she's been having, Ty is starting to realize the gravity of a Victoria backdoor. He's starting to realize what that would mean for his and Jed's games. So Ty is like, is the other side setting us up to take out Victoria for them? Yeah, kinda. He says, as of now, Victoria is a number for us. You know, she was the invisible HOH last week, and she didn't put any of us up on the block, and she totally could have. And Jed agrees. He's like, yeah, Victoria is a number for us. Exactly. All of a sudden, Jed is thinking, no, we shouldn't do this. So then Ty is like, is Victoria actually coming for you, Beth? Or are they just telling us that because they want us to get rid of Victoria for them? He says, Ro is the most imminent threat right now. Yeah, for you, not for Beth. And Jed's like, why are we so confident that Ro wouldn't just turn around and put us up next week? You know, why are we believing this deal that he's offering so quickly? And he says, Victoria's on our side, Ro is not. And he feels like Ro, Tina, and Tara have something going on. Yeah, they definitely do. So then Beth is like, well, the reason that this conversation is so awkward right now is because you guys are good with Victoria and I'm good with Ro. Which is exactly what's happening here. I had no idea that this week was going to turn into Beth versus the two guys. I can't believe it, but it's really interesting the dynamics that are coming out this week. So Beth has to ask herself this week, are you playing this game for yourself or are you playing for the guys? What are you doing? So Beth says that she wants to go to the end with Jed and Ty, which we know is a lie. She wants to ideally go with Brayden and Tina, but she's not going to tell them that. So they don't come to a decision by the end of this conversation what they're going to do. There are many, many, many more conversations about this to come with all different combinations of people. But after that discussion, Jed and Ty were chatting alone. They are not down for this Victoria backdoor plan. They don't trust that Ro wouldn't put them up if they saved him and kept him this week. They figure Ro is just going to say what he needs to say in order to stay. And Jed says, if Ro's on the block on Thursday, I don't care who's up there beside him. I'm voting him out. And Ty says, same. Oh my god. So they feel like they don't need to worry about Victoria this week because, number one, she's not coming after them. Number two, they feel like everyone's going to be after her next week. And they say that they would even take a shot at her in the double eviction if this week is a double eviction, which it is. So they're thinking it's way more likely that Ro could win HOH and put the two of them up than Victoria winning the HOH and putting Beth up. Which feels crazy to me because Victoria has shown she's really good in competitions. Yes, Ro has won 2 vetoes now, but Victoria has won 3 if you count the first competition HOHs already. But they feel like even if Victoria were to win and she did put Beth up on the block, they think that she wouldn't put them up so they could kind of like wiggle out of this and still save Beth with the POV. So, I don't know. We'll see. But they agree if either of them win the power veto, they're not going to take Ro down. But they are not telling Beth that yet. They're still playing along with it for now, but they're not going to tell her that yet. Yikes. So, Ty is also saying, we need to find a way to tell Victoria that this plan is being suggested, like by the other side, but that we're shutting it down. Oh my god. I don't know how Victoria's going to react when this all comes out. They don't want her to find out from the other side, because if she hears it from them, it's going to look like the throuple was considering it if they're silent about it. So, yeah. And I want to say, too, everyone knows at this point about this potential backdoor plan, except for Victoria. I can't believe it hasn't come out at this point. But the feeds went down for a few hours last night, and the house guests got videos from home, and they got some food. I think this was the halfway party, but they were all very happy about it. They were all, like, just hanging out for a while. So then later, Brayden and Ro check in, and they're comparing notes on their conversations with Beth. And Brayden says, also I want to say, Brayden is pushing for this Victoria backdoor. He wants Ro to stay this week, because they're working together. So Brayden says, Beth's biggest fear with this move is that she doesn't know if Ro is playing her or being truthful, like, about his deal with the guys. So he says Beth also told him that the guys are really against it because they don't trust Ro. So Beth is also aware that this is a really great move for her if Victoria goes, and it's a good move for the guys if Ro goes. So Brayden says he also told Beth that Victoria has said she would put up Beth and Jed if she wins HOH, which, again, she has told people. I wonder if this is going to tip the scales at all or not. Beth was a little bit taken aback when she heard that from Brayden, because when she was hearing it before from, like, Tina, Tara, Ro, it was like, oh, maybe they're all working together. But now she's so tight with Brayden, and she's hearing this from him as well. I think it holds a little more weight. So Brayden says, Ro, I think if you win the power veto, Beth might actually go through with this and put Victoria up on the block. And then Brayden's asking Ro, so say they did save you and you stay and you win HOH next week, what would you do? You know, would you go after them? What would you do? And Ro's like, he's not really sure. He says, if it's a double eviction, I'm probably just going to go for the throuple, because anything goes at that point, right? But if it's just a regular eviction, he says he might actually honor the deal that he made with them for, like, a week. This is Big Brother. Like, let's not get crazy here. You can freaking do what you want to do. But anyway, the rest of the night, there were some more repetitive conversations about whether Beth should backdoor Victoria or not. But now there's that added info that Victoria said that she would put up Beth and Jed if she won HOH. So if we just look at the breakdown here from last night, Kiefer is now saying that he thinks that Rose should go, not Victoria, which is interesting because before he was pushing really hard for this plan, for Victoria to be backdoored. So I'm not sure exactly why he would change his mind. I think he's still bitter about the pantry situation with Ro and Kyle. But I think it's also he's really paranoid that Ro is going to strike a deal with Jed and Ty. And then if Ro's not going after them, who do you think he's going to go after? It's probably going to be Kiefer, right? So I think he's super worried about that. Plus, he is supposed to be working with Victoria. So if he were to get rid of her, he's sending out somebody who would keep him safe. Ty is still against the Victoria backdoor. Beth is for it. Jed is kind of back and forth about it. But that was last night. So then this morning, they had the nomination ceremony. Ro and Tara were nominated as expected. No surprises there. And then the rest of the day so far, there's been more debate. Should Victoria be backdoored or not? What are we going to do? So Beth and Brayden are getting really frustrated because they want this plan to happen. They want Victoria to go. They feel like she's a bigger threat to their games. Jed, Ty, and Kiefer are now all wanting Ro out. They don't feel that they can trust him. They want him out. But you're the HOH, Beth, right? It's going to come down to what you decide this week. So she's really got to take a hard look at her game and decide who she's playing for. But a lot will also depend on what happens with the POV today. They got to see who wins this thing. I'm not even sure if they picked players yet. I didn't see any evidence of that before filming this, but if you guys want to check back later, they are doing the competition at some point today, so I will post the winner and the info after that happens. So let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. It's definitely shaping up to be an interesting week. We'll know more after the POV, right? So thank you all for watching, and until next time, much love.